Hey guys, so this podcast episode is an interview with my friend Jackie Stinsman. She's a busy mom of 2 babies. She owns her own photography business. She also maintains a house. She has a lot going on. So in this episode, we dive into a lot about time management and how to balance really home life and work life and things that she does to maintain, her relationship with her friends, her family, her spouse, and her healthy lifestyle. So I hope you enjoy this episode. So I wanted to let you know also that the cookbook, Simple Balance Eats, is officially live and on Amazon, you guys. You don't understand how excited I am about this, how I feel like long it's taken to just go through all the stages of the planning and prepping process, and now it's finally live and available for you to grab. The link will be in the show notes below. The book is $19.99, but there's so much included. There's, a meal prep guide, a grocery shopping list. There is frequently asked questions about dieting and weight loss. There's 70 recipes. There's recipes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, drinks, you name it. All of my best stuff is in there. This cookbook was designed for the busy woman in mind. These were the recipes that kept me afloat and kept me maintaining 80-hour work weeks. And honestly, for the longest time, I was really embarrassed to share these recipes with you guys. I would spiralize a cucumber and blend up some ingredients in a blender to make a sauce and cook up some turkey or ground beef and throw that on top. And I would snap these photos and put them on Instagram, and people would ask, how did you make that? How did you make that? And I was so embarrassed to say, I blended some of this and then I just spiralized that. But it's really as simple as that. And that is the basis behind this book. It is really just to show you how to get simple, easy, cost-efficient recipes on the table that you and your family are sure to love. So I hope you grab that, and the link is below in the show notes, and enjoy. Hi, Jackie. I'm so happy that you can be on. Would you like to introduce yourself to the ladies and let them know all about yourself?
Sure. My name is Jackie. I am a portrait and branding photographer in Burlington, New Jersey. I mainly focus on maternity, newborn, first year, and families, and we're expanding more into the small business branding photography.
Very, very nice. So, Jackie, you are a busy woman, right? You have a lot going on. Jackie, I remember seeing one of your Facebook lives recently after we just recorded. Jackie and I just recorded a RVN show together. She was my lovely guest. And when she was promoting it, she did a Facebook Live, and her babies were climbing all over her. She has 2 little guys, and it was real life and raw, and she was still able, though, to get on live video and do what she wanted to do and, not really have excuses around it. So, Jackie, you're a busy woman, as everyone's seen from your video. Can you tell us a little bit about your life and your home life?
Sure. So I have 2 little boys. Christian is going to be 3 in October, and Cole is going to be 1 in October. And I'm a wife as well. My husband he works full-time during the week. And we really don't have much time in the evenings because it's normally dinner, bath, and bedtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started my photography business in October. Will be 6 years. And I started it knowing that I didn't want to go back to the hospital full-time. I went to x-ray school and MRI school, worked full-time for about almost a year, I think it was, and I realized that I don't want to do this full-time anymore. Healthcare really became more of a business instead of looking at it for patient perspective and doing what's best for patients, which I love MRI, but like I said, I just couldn't do it full time. So I started my business, and once I had my son, Christian, it just kind of went full time at that point. I mean, full time, if you say it that way, but I don't really work hourly 4 times.
Yeah. You don't have to put in those full 40 hours if
exactly.
That might not be necessary all the time.
So yeah, I started my business, and it's been almost 6 years now. It's going great, and I found that when I really schedule things out for the week, is when it works best for me. So Tuesday, Thursday is in studio no matter what. They always go to my sister-in-law, who is our babysitter, 9 to 5 no matter what. Like today, I had a newborn session this morning. I had this podcast, and then at 5 o'clock, I have another phone call. So my husband will pick them up from my sister-in-law, and then that kind of happens pretty much every Tuesday, Thursday is either newborn or session in the morning, and then I do editing and behind the scenes work in the afternoon. And then some Saturdays and Sundays as well. They're kind of only a few hours here and there, which is nice. Like when I used to work full time, it was like 8 to 4:30, which I don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday are days with the boys. We go, grocery shopping. We get all that done. And then, of course, now school's starting, so Christian will go to preschool on Mondays and Fridays, and then we're scheduling in gym time. So I found that once I really set a set schedule, it worked best for us.
Yes, that schedule that we all need to instill. But I'm eager to find out what kind of scheduling you use and how you figured out what worked. But before we talk about that, I want to know, like, how did you know that you didn't want to be in the hospital anymore? Like, was it like a one moment that kind of spoke to you, or was it over time that you kind of felt like you were not in love anymore?
It kind of was both, I'll never forget, I had this one patient, and, with patient care, you can't really say too much, but she had something going on in a part of her body, and the doctor had ordered it completely incorrectly. And one of our radiologists would say, well, just do what the doctor ordered. And I said to him, but that's not going to do anything for her. We're not able to diagnose what they're looking for if you're doing this other exam. And then it just kind of was like, they wanted to do that to make the money off of it and just make her come back another day to do the correct thing. So it just kind of stuck in my mind, like, I feel like I'm doing a disservice for my patients doing that. But long term, it really was, it was hard days. It was on my feet all day long. It was, especially when I was pregnant. I mean, my first pregnancy, if anybody's ever been pregnant watching this, you go to the bathroom all the freaking time.
You're like...
You're literally like, I would do a patient in the MRI, I would get them off, I would walk them out, I would go to the bathroom, I would get the next patient, put them on the table, finish their exam, go to the bathroom. And it was kind of disheartening as well when I was told I was going to the bathroom too much at work.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, first of all, I don't think you're allowed to say that. Second of all, I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? So I knew that I couldn't do it full time anymore.
Yeah.
And childcare is so expensive. It literally, I was working for childcare full time. So it just made sense that way. And especially with owning your own business, you can make your own hours. And especially with photography, you can be really super specific with your hours, which is nice. So, and that's when I was like, it's either I do photography and I do MRI per diem, or I just am a stay-at-home mom. And it kind of has worked out now that it's doing good with the business with photography.
Yeah, you do great work. I wish I had your portfolios to share with everyone like we did on the show, but if they want to see it, they'll have to go back and watch the show or just check out your website.
Yes.
But
thank you. I
gorgeous.
Appreciate that.
I wanted to Jackie does such beautiful work that this album didn't even belong to me, the one that she was showing me, and I was like, I want to keep this in my living room because it's so pretty.
Actually, that's funny you bring that up because I did a newborn this morning and he gave me the biggest smile ever. And I said, if they don't buy this photo, I'm blowing it up and putting it in my house. It's so cute. Biggest smile ever from a 14-day-old baby.
I'm sure they'll buy it. Hilarious. So how did you know, though, that photography was your thing? How did you figure that out?
So I always had a camera in my hand. I always say when we were in high school, we created the first selfies because we were always taking pictures of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of was like, once I got to that point that I knew I was not going to be an MRI full time, I had a friend who had started a very successful body scrub and candle business. And I thought to myself, well, what can I do that can potentially be successful or bring in additional income? And I just bought photography. So I started my free Facebook business page, and I was a photographer.
Yeah, you just kind of have to start, right? You just
gotta do it. Yep, you just gotta do it.
Start, and you gotta be consistent, and you gotta, have a good service or a good product, and just care, right? Like you cared about those patients at the hospital. Like you can tell you care, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with babies and newborns and families and...
Yes. Yeah, and I found that from past experiences for myself with photographers or photography, I wanted to create a different experience for my clients and really awesome products for them as well. Yeah. Because, you can go to any photographer and you can get digital images, but what are you going to do with them?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, you're gonna get a Shutterfly. They're gonna print it out ugly. The color's gonna be really crappy. So that's why I like to provide those types of products for my clients as well.
Yeah. It's either that, or you just keep all the digital images on your USB, which sits around and collects dust, or you have like 8,000 photos on your phone, like myself, and it just becomes more overwhelming every time I get a new phone because they're like, do you want to delete these photos? And I'm like, no, just transfer them over.
Yep.
And so I need like bigger storage phone every time I go and get a phone because I just refuse to delete any photos. So yeah, we all need someone like you to help us, develop. First of all, take the photos and then develop them for us so we have them.
Yes.
Yeah. So fear is a big thing that comes up for a lot of the women listening. Fear, whether it's the fearfulness of starting a new diet or the change of a relationship, or, there's so many different ways that it shows up. Did it show up for you when you were making that switch and transitioning into owning your own business?
Yes, absolutely. Fear of, is anybody going to like me?
Yeah.
Fear of, is my business going to even succeed? Fear of, do I have enough money?
Yeah.
Fear of, who's going to pay me for photos? You know what I mean? So there definitely is fear in it. Now, like I said, I started my business when I was still technically full-time in MRI. So you can start a business and do it in the evenings or on the weekends, or if you work part-time, that you can do it part-time. I think it's important that you have a job that you love so that you're really passionate about it and it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So, the past few months have been really crazy in the studio, but it's a good crazy. Like, I love it. It's not like if I was working at the hospital, I'd be like, I'm going to quit every single day.
I know. Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Yeah. But it's been a good kind of crazy. And I think it's important that you work a job that you love, and it doesn't really feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah, the hours fly by and you're like, oh crap, it's like 7:00 at night and you got to turn off your computer. Otherwise you'll just keep going. And it's like this crazy, but it's not as stressful. It's just, you got a lot of stuff to do and you want to do it all. Yeah, it's quite a great feeling. That's why like that passion behind, you just have to have passion behind what you do, or, what it is, who it is that you're spending time with, and all the stuff that you got to really tap into it. You got to follow your instinct in order to find it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
So that was great that you were able to find something that you love and make a profitable business out of it. And do you have your family involved in your work?
Yes. Yeah. So my husband is my biggest cheerleader. When I first started, and I never forget, I went to someone's house to photograph their kids, and it was free because I was still figuring out what I wanted to do. And I got home and the kids were so bad. I was like, I can't do this. Like, the kids are like screaming. They're not looking at me. They're scared of me. Like, I couldn't, I just was like, I can't do this. I suck.
Yeah.
I can't do this. And he's like, look, it's one photo shoot. You'll be fine. And I was like, all right, we'll see. So he's in the studio, I feel like at least once a month, helping me do something. If it's putting up a backdrop, or if it's painting the walls, or especially from January to March, we were here pretty much every day off we had.
Yeah.
Painting and putting in floors, and he's doing the edging. So he is definitely my biggest cheerleader, and he supports me 100%. If I didn't have him, I would not be in this business.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is really great with the boys. They go every Tuesday and Thursday. She's amazing. Every morning when I say we're going to Titi's house, he goes, or Christian will go, oh yeah, we go to Titi's house and play with Miles, or they play with the balls outside. So he loves it, and I wouldn't want to take him anywhere else.
Yeah.
My parents on weekends are great. They always go to grandmom's house on Saturdays, and then there's a few days here and there that they'll go to my in-laws' house if we ever need some help. So we definitely have a big support system, and it's really important to have that as well. I don't think if I didn't have a support system, I would also be a photographer as well.
Yeah. So does your husband work also? Does he have Yes.
He works full-time as a diesel mechanic in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I mean, it's only maybe 20 minutes from our house, but yeah, he works Monday through Friday and some Saturdays during the busy season. So he's also busy as well.
Yeah. So you guys, how do you find time for one another? What do you guys do to spend some time?
It's funny you bring that up because we just planned date night this weekend. So it's definitely... we schedule it.
Yeah.
We schedule time off. I want to try implementing no cell phones at night because we need to sit down, and even if it's just watching TV or just talking, like having time to ourselves without electronics in our face. So yeah, definitely scheduling. What do we do? Sunday night we went out to dinner because it was Labor Day weekend. And then yesterday it kind of was like, he went out with a friend with the boys for breakfast. We came home. I was cleaning the house, and then we went out for a pool day. So it's definitely, if I don't schedule it, I won't think about it. So every weekend before the week starts, I will go through my calendar and I'll figure out what goes where and when we can do what and everything.
Yes, yeah. The scheduling is key. How do your little guys, do you incorporate them at home to help out with tasks to really, get things done around the house? Because I don't have any little ones yet, and but I do work with them on a daily basis with my kids' classes, and so I know that they can be helpful, and I know kids can also be very unhelpful at times.
Yeah.
So how are your boys at home? I know they're young, but do you incorporate them at home with tasks?
I try as much as possible. Cole, he's only 10 months at this point, so he's like my little terrorist. He will undo everything I do.
Yeah.
So there's nothing ever on the floor. If he actually, the dog bowls are on the floor, so if he gets over there quick enough, he will dump the dog food over. So he's my terrorist right now. Yeah. But Christian, I like to let him help me make breakfast, eggs. He'll crack the eggs in the bowl instead of the pan, and then he'll mix it. Yeah. Dinner time, same thing. He'll kind of mix things up. He likes to wash bottles right now, which means it's just spraying water all over my kitchen, but at least it makes him happy.
Yeah. Yeah. So more work for you to do. Great.
Yes. But it's nice that he's there with me, and he's not just downstairs watching TV.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. What about when it comes to cleaning up the house? Do you have help around the house? How do you manage all that? Because you recently transitioned into full-time.
Yes.
Right? So you were similar to me, right? You were just working your little booty off, just So I'm sure it's a little bit easier now that you gave up, the full-time gig, but how is it that you find time to clean? Where do you find these nuggets of time at, or to go grocery shopping?
Most of the time, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's during nap time.
Okay.
So I try my very best, unless I'm super behind with editing. Yeah. I will do housework when they're napping. Now, that doesn't always mean both of them are napping at the same time, but if they are, it's bonus points.
Yeah.
So, it's laundry, and I don't vacuum when they're sleeping because they both like the vacuum, so I'm sure if they heard it, they would wake right up and be like, I want to vacuum.
That's adorable.
But Christian actually likes mopping the floor.
Yeah.
Now, we have one of those spray ones. It's kind of like a Swiffer, but it's a different brand where it sprays.
Mm-hmm.
And it does get everywhere on the cabinets, too, but at least he's doing something.
So cute.
But yeah, mostly when they're napping, if we're outside, I'm pulling weeds out of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
If we're up in the kitchen, Christian's mopping and I'm wiping off the counters. And mainly my problem is like clutter.
Yeah.
Like I just want to get it all where it's supposed to be. So if it's organized, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Everything needs a home is what I say in my house.
Yes.
I'm like, my husband's so, he loves like bringing like random stuff home, or like someone gives him like those koozie thing. Like,
yes.
I'm like, why is this in my house? Like, it doesn't have a home unless you have a home for it. Because otherwise it just fills up the junk drawer, right? And then it's just,
Yes.
it drives me nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Or
I
it
just
sits in
threw
a little,
like 2 bags of just crap that was all over our house.
or
like,
it just will sit in a corner
why
in
do
the
we even need
kitchen. I know. Just gonna throw it away. Throw it away or find a home for it. Okay?
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, so do you live a healthy lifestyle?
We're getting better at it. So since the studio was gotten so busy, April and May were just absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I did slip on the healthy eating. So there was a lot of Chick-fil-A, and there was a lot of rice-a-roni.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, those things happen, right?
Yes.
They happen.
So with the schedule being consistent and now working with your daily planner and the weekly planner of the food prep, that has really, really, really helped. So that was like the next thing on my list was to do food prep. And it was just perfect timing that you brought that out, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So
it was just for you, Jackie.
Yes. So it really, really has helped with food prep.
Yeah.
Now, like, because it was a holiday weekend, I didn't get food shopping, so that's going to happen tomorrow. But, I mean, you already know I have chicken in the fridge. That can easily be baked with even some rice-a-roni.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But in past weeks, it's been so much easier to meal prep and have certain things done on Sunday or even Saturday night when they go to bed. Like, I have a pre-made taco mix in my freezer at all times because if I know I'm have a busy day, I'll take it out of the freezer, I'll put it in the fridge so it starts to defrost, and then I can easily just microwave it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the meal prepping and the food prepping has been so much better on us health-wise.
Yeah.
And then also we joined the gym.
Nice.
We have done a few nights, family dates at the gym.
Your babies can come too? Yeah.
Yes. They go into their little kid zone, and Christian, he still cries when he first goes in there, but he knows it now. He's like, okay, we're going to play.
Yeah.
So he gets to run around and play. And it's not just like sit there and watch TV. They exercise the whole time. And then Cole can watch, because he's in like the little infant area. He can watch everybody running around and he's fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's great, because it's important, right? Because I'm sure once you start, eating better and getting to the gym, you have more energy, right? To get.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, last week I did a spin class. What was that? I think like Friday morning. And like I was just go all day long. I was like, what's next? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because you start your day off on a good foot and you check that first thing off. And like, I know for me, if it's not the first thing that I do, like the dog needs to go out and then someone, like a phone call or text, and then before I know it's like 10 a.m. and I'm like, I don't feel like going now. I need to get a shower and get ready,
Yep.
So
first thing in the morning, that was like really nice to just get my body going and get the boys out.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to, right? To just rip that Band-Aid off, and then to keep up with the momentum and the habit of doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm eager to hear about that schedule and that routine that you have going on. So can you tell us a little bit about it? Is it like a paper schedule or is it like sometimes some families I recommend using like a whiteboard calendar that everyone can see, or is it an app? What do you use to keep yourself organized and planned?
So I use Google Calendar for everything.
Yeah.
We also, with our studio, since it's myself and 2 other photographers, we use it as well so that it's kind of blocking out time. So I do that. My husband has it on his phone so that if I have something scheduled for both of us, he'll see it. So Sunday, we do have a whiteboard. I got to get better with it. But for a while, it was really good. He saw that I had like a newborn one morning, a cake smash another day. So and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if we're going to go to the gym, I will put it in the calendar at what time the class is or when we're planning on going. So literally putting it in the calendar makes me do it. Yeah. So if I know on Friday morning I have nothing all day long and there's a spin class at 9 or 9:30, I put it in my calendar because then I know I got to go to it.
Yeah.
If it's not there and then I realize, it's 8:30, I don't want to go. But the night before, I always check it and I make sure that it's got to go to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you always used Google or have you like kind of hopped around?
So I tried, there was another one, I forget what it was, but it was an app and it didn't always like sync with everything. So it's just easier that I use Samsung phones and Android phones that it just kind of worked easily with that.
Yeah. That's awesome. So have you always been the kind of person that seen something on your schedule and did it? Or did you kind of have to work? Okay, so you always been organized and a schedule or?
As much as possible. Like when back in April and May, it was so crazy that, like I said, it was kind of bonkers. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't very organized then. But once I started the routine of checking it on Sunday or Saturday night, and just sticking to it, it really has helped.
Yes. So what about when a curveball is thrown into your schedule where someone needs to get picked up or, all those little mom emergencies? What do you do then? Like, what if something messes you up for the morning?
Luckily, I haven't had any crazy curveballs yet.
Okay, I don't mean to jinx. I hope I don't jinx you.
No, that's fine. I guess because my sister-in-law has kids.
Yeah.
And she knows how to deal with curveballs like that.
Okay.
Like if Christian, peed the back of his pants, because he's potty trained, but he doesn't get his underwear all the way down sometimes.
Yeah.
She can easily just give him a pair of shorts from her son.
Yes.
I feel like my dad, if he was watching them, it would be like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but he's just he had us 30 years ago now, so he's not used to it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure once school starts and if anything happens with that, I'd have to go and pick him up and stuff. But luckily, with the Tuesdays and Thursdays going to my sister-in-law, it's a lot easier because she's already dealt with kids.
Yeah.
Luckily, knock on wood, no broken bones or any crazy hives anywhere or anything like that. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about that.
Yes. So it sounds like the way that you're able to really manage it all and really get over any excuses that can come up is by using that planner, using that scheduler, and kind of no ifs, ands, or buts, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And are there any weeks where they're off weeks for you, or you're strict because of your work schedule? It kind of has to be strict.
Yeah, so it's hard with photography, especially newborns, because now, which I just dealt with today, one of my moms gave birth yesterday, but of course school is starting and they have a kindergartner. So it never occurred to me that they wouldn't be able to come on a weekday. So I had the 22nd and 23rd were going to be no work. They're going to be family days. And then he had to go back to school. So I have to do a newborn on that 22nd, which is fine. Yeah. But I need to get better with sticking to that schedule. And what's also nice is if it's a newborn, it's maximum 3 hours. I get there the hour before, I set up, 2 hours of shooting, I clean up real quick, and then I'm out of there. So it's not like an 8-hour day. So we'll still have family time and everything. So we'll start at 10. I'll be out of there by 12:30 maximum.
Yeah.
So yes, I need to definitely set a certain day or weekend where we have family time so that we make sure that it gets done.
Yeah, because that's a priority of yours, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out what the priorities are and put them first on your list and then work everything else around that because everything else will fall into place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Jackie, I want to know a little bit more about you and what you do and how all of the ladies can find you. I know a lot of the women listening are having babies and are, pregnant or have little guys, families of their own that they would like to photograph. So, how can people, learn more about you, learn where to find you?
Okay, so my Facebook page and Instagram is Stinsman Photography, Stinsman Photography.
And I'll leave the link. I'll leave the link to the show notes. Yeah, all below for everyone.
Okay, cool. And you'll see all of our work on our Facebook and Instagram, also our website. We also have all of our pricing information, our entire portfolio there as well. We mainly specialize in maternity through first year, so that includes indoor, outdoor maternity sessions, newborn sessions, fresh 48s, which are in the hospital, more like lifestyle sessions. We can get babies' very first tiny details and everything. Then we do first birthday. Cake smashes are so popular right now. We have this special little tub for the first birthday session where they just splash and have fun. It's like a mini clawfoot tub. It's super cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. And then we also do families, and we're branching out into small business branding because we found that, anybody can do a headshot as a photographer, or they should be able to do a headshot as a photographer.
Yeah, we can hope.
So we're moving more into the branding where it's more like behind the scenes, different outfit changes, more lifestyle as well. If they're sitting there with the client helping them, holding their hand with a laptop, things like that, so that it's more, feels like it's more personal instead of just smiling and looking at the camera.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the cheesy, stock photos, right?
Yes. So, we do all of that. We offer digital collections, which include a complimentary album, which are really, really nice. That's one thing that a lot of people love. I love the albums. We have two styles. A really nice one, the one that you saw, is a thicker album. There's 3 different sizes to choose from, and we are upgrading that album to where you can put a photo on the front of it, and it's going to kind of look like a nice wall piece. Not a wall piece,
but a decoration almost.
Like a nice, you can put it on like your mantle or your TV stand. So it's not just an album on the coffee table. It's a statement piece, I should say.
Oh, I love it. They were like cloth. One was leather, right? White leather. Well, cream leather, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the other one was like gray. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and we want our clients to do something with their photographs. In the past, we just did digital collections and nobody did anything. Or people would come back and they would be like, oh, the coloring's not right. I don't like how this printed. It's cropped wrong. So we do all of that for our clients. And it's with the digital collection with the album. So if they don't do anything with the digitals, that's fine, but they're getting an album because we want them to have something to pass down to their children 20, 30 years from now. And who knows, is your hard drive going to die? Is it going to corrupt? Are the images just not going to be on the cloud storage anymore? Because we're all attached to cloud storage now. And if you don't pay them, they could wipe it.
It's true.
So it's definitely something, at least have something tangible.
Yeah, having those photos are the best. I remember being a kid, and I was such a strange little kid because one of my favorite things to do, my mom used to keep the photos in a large, we had a fish tank, and it was like super big box that they saved, and all the photos, family photos were in there, and I would just look through it like all the time. So when it was for my wedding present, I just asked my mom if I can keep those photos because no one really looks at them at her house. So she let me have it. So I just think that the camera was one of the best inventions ever, really, because you capture a moment in time that you'll never see again. You'll never get it back.
Yep.
It's just, it really is. Photos are so amazing to me. I love it.
I think it's important. Even before I was a photographer, I always thought, I had a photo shoot with my husband. We were married 3 years before we had kids. So we had a photo shoot of ourselves every single year. And now my kids well, he's Christian, he understands. He will look at the wall and see the photos of ourselves in the frames and say, oh, mommy, daddy.
Yeah.
Or I have the picture of me being pregnant with him. Oh, baby belly. Like, it's really sweet that he sees that. And I have portraits of him that are going up shortly.
Yeah.
We're repainting our room, so they're not up right now. But we have 2 wall pieces that are made directly from wood with their photographs on it.
Aww.
And we offer them in the studio as well, and they're super, super nice. I love them. And he looks at me, he's like, oh, baby Cole, or oh, that's me. So it's nice that he understands that now. And I think it's important for them to see themselves on the walls as well, because then they feel a part of the family, and his confidence goes up so much when he sees those photos. And he smiles and is just so happy. And he loves to show Daddy if he's sitting across the room. He'll go, Daddy, it's me.
Look at me.
So I think it's important that having family photos done yearly is super important, especially doing something with them. And if you have kids, putting them up in your home, they're going to see that they are part of the family. It's going to increase their confidence, and they're going to feel just so happy to see themselves. Not just either plain wall or like a splash of paint art. You know what I mean? Like your family is art as well.
or the stock photos that sometimes come with the frame that sometimes stay a little bit too long in the frame before you swap it around. So no, but I love that. I never really heard that before you told me that kids feel more welcome and at home and part of the family when they see the family photos of them around the house. But of course, now that I think about it, it's so wonderful. So you do amazing work. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So Jackie, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your tips with everyone and, your busy mama hacks and how you find balance in a busy life. And I so hope that the women find you and, get their annual photos taken. Jackie is local. So Jackie, do you want to tell them where your studio is? And then again, I'll share it in the show notes, but you just want to sign off and say bye to everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Our studio is right in Burlington, but we also travel to people's homes and also a few locations and gardens as well. So we're really kind of everywhere.
Which is great. And you go to homes. That's amazing because I'm sure with a newborn, it might be hard to get out of the house.
Oh, yes, I know.
I love it. Well, thank you again, and we will be talking to you all soon. Hopefully we have you back on the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you loved this episode. If you did, you can hop on over to iTunes. You can leave me a rating or review, which is sure to be appreciated. You can find me on Instagram at ohhowhealthy. You can find me on Facebook. You can join the Facebook group that is created to continue conversation from the podcast. So if you have questions for me, hop on over to that group. The link will be in the show notes, and I will catch you all next week.